this video, we'll try to see how to get started with Raspberry Pi Pico W, that is primarily intended for wireless applications like IoT applications. So in this video, we are going to see how we can get started with Raspberry Pi Pico W with MicroPython. We want to program Raspberry Pi Pico in MicroPython, and many people will find issues when getting started with Raspberry Pi Pico. So let's get started and understand what is the process for it. Now, when you have purchased a new Raspberry Pi Pico, it may or may not have the MicroPython firmware that you require it to have. So the very first thing to do is, before connecting Raspberry Pi Pico to computer, or if you have connected it already, then just remove it from it. And then you will find a reset button onto the Pico. So what you need to do is remove the cable from computer and then press on this reset button. And while the reset button is pressed, what you need to do is you need to connect the Pico to computer. In this way, what happens is the Raspberry Pi goes into the boot mode and it will open up as a pen drive or mass storage, just like what I did. Mind well that I am doing this tutorial on Windows 11. So what happens is it opens up a drive just like this, and here you can go to this index.html, which will guide you to the documentation of Raspberry Pi Pico W. Now on this page, let me just close my presentation full screen. Now on this page over here, you can see the documentation and how to get started with Pico W and MicroPython. I'll just go to MicroPython link over here and it will give me what I need. So what you need to do is you need to download this MicroPython UF2 file on your computer and then to your board. So just go to this Pico W, or if you have Pico, then Pico. I have Pico W link. It will download the UFT file. Now I have got this UFT file over here. All you need to do is simply copy that file and go to the RPi RP2 folder and paste it over there. After you paste it over here, the Raspberry Pi Pico W module will reboot itself or restart itself. Yeah, as seen, the drive is gone and it starts rebooting itself. But what happens is, if you have seen, and many of you might have faced this issue, if you open the device manager, you will see the USB serial device like COM3 over here. But when you open or when you try to connect to it, you're not successful. Let me show that to you through some series of steps itself. So to use MicroPython onto it, what you need is a software called Thonny. You can download Thonny from the official website, which is thonny.org. You can download the latest one from this place, which I have already done. And now I'll simply open my Thonny instance. And when you open Thonny on your computer, you have an option to select the Raspberry Pi Pico from over here. And this is the issue that I'm facing. So by default, you can use the local Python 3, which will use the Python installed along with Thonny on your computer, but we don't want that. So if you just look at here, you can change it to use it on Raspberry Pi Pico. It has two instances, MicroPython Raspberry Pi Pico COM3 or MicroPython RP2040 COM3. Either one of them is not working for me, and I'm pretty sure you might have faced this issue yourself as well. Now, why I'm getting this error, if you try to dig it down a bit more, then if you go to device manager, you will see that the COM port which has been assigned to your computer or your Raspberry Pi, which looks over here. So the COM port is there. There is no doubt in that, but there is a symbol which says it's not working correctly. I'll remove the board now. You will see that it's gone completely. I connect it now. You will again see it, but with the symbol. As long as this symbol is there, you will not be able to use MicroPython on your Pico board. Now, what is the workaround for it? The workaround is very simple. All you need to do is you need to go to the MicroPython website. instead of the Raspberry Pi website. Let me just remove the other unwanted tabs. So let's go to micropython.org and go to download option over here. When you go to download, it will show a list of different boards. Just a minute. For which you want to download the MicroPython UF2 firmware. Here you will have to find your board. There are loads of them. What we are interested in is Raspberry Pi Pico or Pico W. This is where I find Pico W, and here I will find all the different ports available. As a usual thumb rule, what I do is I use the oldest one, which is available on this page. So I'll simply click the last link. It will download the firmware for me. So I have this firmware now. I will copy it, delete the previous one, and push my Raspberry Pi into again the debug mode or the boot mode. Switch pressed, cable removed, cable connected again. Now I'll paste it here, and while Raspberry Pi reboots, I'll just open my device manager. It shows RP2 boot as long as it's in boot mode, and as it's restarted, it should show you a COM port. Now you can see USB serial device COM5, it's showing clearly, no issues at all. Now I don't know why this is happening, but if you follow the official UF2 file from here, it's giving me a problem. Most probably that is happening for my Windows 11 system. I don't know what happens on Windows 10. But if you are facing this problem on Windows 10 as well, simply go to micropython.org, download the UFT file from there and install it. Now let me see if I can connect to this interpreter. So I'll switch to local Python 3, and from here I will again switch to COM5. Now when you choose your COM5 MicroPython, see it's working well. Let's just try a simple hello, and that should confirm our working. That's it. Now this has given me lots of frustration. I hope it will save you your frustrations as well. Thank you for watching this video. Get started with Raspberry Pi Pico and start experimenting on IoT. See you.